Hello and welcome to the NinjaTrader Indicator Warehouse. This is Trader Jeep, and today I'm going to cover the Pivot Point Alerts Indicator. In my opinion, this tool can be thought of in many ways like a flashlight, and in this informational video you will see how this incredibly elegant chart enhancement tool will illuminate the otherwise dark and often frightening path of potential price action right before your very eyes. As if that weren't enough, the tool will also, and more importantly, provide users with an audible alert so that those trips away from your trading terminal will no longer prevent you from being notified of important trade opportunities should they occur while you're away. Now, I like to keep charts running with the pivot point alerts enabled in the background while I work on other things, and thereby put myself into better control by being in a position to respond to the alerts rather than being tied to my chair having to anticipate and wait for visible confirmation. You see, the old saying that a watch pot never boils can actually take on new life in a trader's psyche when it gives way to impatience, which so often manifests itself into unplanned and spontaneous trades and consequently unnecessary losses. Now, a trader in this state of mind may as well pull the handle on the slot machine or perhaps even the trigger on the roulette pistol, while the skilled and well-prepared trader who trades according to their plan is approaching the markets with a much better chance of payout and a long, fruitful career in this amazing industry. This indicator will get you out of the ditch and onto the racetrack towards higher potential profits right out of the box. So, add it to your trading plan and your shopping cart so that you can start to see the benefits before tomorrow's open or even today's close. Real quickly, let me cover what pivot points are before I move forward. Pivot points, as they relate to the subject of this video, are support and resistance levels that are calculated using open, high, low, and close data from the previous trading day. Standard pivot points in this indicator package include the pivot point itself, 3 full support levels, 3 full resistance levels, 2 mid support levels, and 2 mid resistance levels. Now, daily pivots are the most commonly used, but weekly and monthly pivot points are also available with the package in the event that you like to use those instead. So before I get into actual chart demonstrations here, let me just say that there are many trading approaches out there today. Many of those approaches use pivot points successfully as their core composition. This video is not intended as a training video on how to trade pivots, but it is to demonstrate how this particular indicator can allow you to implement alerts so that when these important thresholds are met or tested or even violated, you'll have an instant heads up by getting an audible or a pop-up alert or even an email so that you can be in a position to respond right away. So, without further ado, let's just dive into a chart over here. And what you can see is that I've got 2 blue squares on the left-hand side of the screen, right here where my cursor is. I've got 2 blue squares, one at the high and one at the low of this little move. Now, this is known as a swing, and the blue box at the top and the blue box at the bottom are highlighting the pivot points. Now, if we look over, or the actual pivots, if we look over to the right-hand side of the screen, we can see that they're starting up here at the top. We've got MR3, that's mid resistance 3, R2, MR2, which is mid resistance 2, R1, MR1, PP, MS1, S1, all the way from top to bottom. Obviously, that represents resistance levels with R1 and support levels with S1, and so forth and so on. So I just want to draw attention to the first blue box, and you can see here that as this high was made at the top of this swing, we came in just right above MR1. So when the price came up in live trading and hit that MR1 level, you would have gotten, had you had this indicator, an audible, your choice, or combination of an audible alert, a pop-up alert, and or an email alert notifying you that MR1 had been tested or violated. What you do with that information is up to you. This indicator is going to load the clip. It's up to you to shoot the gun. Again, at Indicator Warehouse, we've got many other tools that you can combine to create the synergy that you need to generate and be able to act on market signals when they pop up. The main thing is that you notice from looking at this video that these opportunities do frequently and almost always pop up right around these pivot points. So let's roll down to the next one. So we know that we had an indicator alert here at MR1 that told us to be ready to either stand on the side or continue with the trend or look for a move in the opposite direction. So that being said, we move down to the next pivot, and that came in right at just right slightly below the pivot point. As you can see over here on the right hand side where I'm moving my cursor around, PP equals the pivot point. So again, as the market traded down and hit that pivot point on this bar, which was the 955 bar, an alert was issued, and we had an opportunity to pull together our other various tools with that synergy I mentioned and make a decision to buy, sell, or stand on the side. As you can see in this case, to buy the market in this particular area would have been a wise move. So now I want to grab my box here and I want to slide it over to the next significant pivot or high. And as you can see, the market moved right up to R1. If you follow my crosshair all the way over to the right hand side of the screen, you can see that the market traded up into the R1 area on this green 1205 candle here with a slightly extended wick off the top, which is irrelevant at this point. The only point I'm trying to make is that when we hit R1, we got an alert. We could leave the bathroom or the kitchen, come to our trading terminal, and see a signal here that would notify us that it might be time to get short. Okay, now I'm going to move my bottom box over here and take it down to this level. And as you can see, we came in, tested MR1, had another alert, and could make another decision. We came up, traded back into this R1 area right here on this 1400 or 2 p.m. bar. And it just goes on through the day like that. Now we're going to roll into another day. And I'm going to grab my box. I'm going to move it up here to this high. And as you can see, as we traded in, we were trading right into R3. We would have gotten an alert there. And we're continuing to hit R3. Okay, now we've gone up into the end of the day. That wasn't a very eventful trading day. On the next day, we came up into R2. We would have gotten some kind of an alert and could have made a decision here. Again, this is only to open your eyes and get your attention, loading the clip so that you can fire the weapon. Now, that's the long and short of how the indicator works. In video number 2, I'm going to play back some recorded data so that you can see how this indicator actually does work in a real-time setting. And remember, whether you're day trading the E-mini S&P, other futures contracts, or the Forex, Indicator Warehouse will help you get more profit from your online trading and technical analysis efforts. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you in video number 2 for some live market action.